Welcome back to the ASN Dad Chat. We're a podcast and community dedicated to making sure no ASN dad in Scotland has to walk this path alone.
Our goal is simple: real talk, real honesty, and sharing our own experiences to help you navigate the system. Whether you're in our meetup group already or just finding us now, you've got a seat at the table.
And just a reminder, we aren't experts, we're just dads, and this is just experiences and opinions, not medical advice and not legal advice. Then let's go on with the chat today.
Hello and welcome to ASN Dad Chat. I'm Andy and today I'm joined by Glyn.
Hello.
And Sam.
Hello.
Welcome back everyone. Hope everyone's enjoying their summer. With our previous episode, a few weeks back, we were starting to talk about our plans for the summer. We're just looking to give a bit of an update, how it's been going, what our plans are for the rest of them. Who wants to start us off, how your summer's been?
Yeah, I don't mind, I'll have a go. So, was it a few weeks ago we went to the Craig Tara Holiday Park. So we went for a caravan break, an ASN caravan. It was really good in the sense it was like really well adapted for our children. The actual holiday itself was very eventful. So we arrived there on the Monday, and we arrived there around about kind of 8 o'clock, and the kids were hungry, and we didn't really want to eat beforehand because the kids get really car sick, and it was about an hour and a half drive. So we went there, and then we walked the kids up to the food kind of area. It's technically classed as, so when we went, it was technically classed as off-peak, which I thought was interesting, and I asked about it, and it's because the woman behind the counter said that it's because it was bought over by an English company, that they follow the English holidays. The English holidays, which
Crazy.
means that it's in peak in July. So that was a bit of a weird one, but it meant that a lot of the food places were shut, and so some of the food places would be shut, then they would open the next day, and that the places that were open would be shut, and that way everybody.
So essentially there's that gap for when between the Scottish schools finishing and the English schools finishing. They've got that gap that's essentially
It's like about 3 weeks or
not
something
set
like
for
that.
the kind of holiday period.
Yeah. So we went, and there was only the Burger King that was open, and the fish and chip shop, and the kids aren't massive on fish and chips. So we went to Burger King, and it was open until about 10:30, and we got there, and there was actually a staff member at the front door. And he asked us, "Have you pre-ordered your food?" And I was like, "We've just got here. We haven't pre-ordered anything." And he was like, "All right, we've just ran out of food." And I was like, "Wonderful." So we nipped round to the shop, because I was like, well, if we can grab maybe a few ready meals or something like that, at least it'll settle the kids. The shop was shut. So walked all the way back to the caravan, got in the car, and we ended up going into the middle of Ayr. We went to an Asda and done like a late night shop, and then we took them to McDonald's, in which lots of other families had the same plan. So it was about a 45-minute wait on food.
Busy.
What they didn't tell us was they had to actually leave and go to another store to get more nuggets. So yeah, and then as we were pulling out of the drive-through, after 45 minutes of waiting, my youngest, as he is car sick, spewed all over the back of the car, in which, me and my partner very much just looked at each other and went, do we go home? It might be worth going home. But we decided to stick it out, and it got better. We found that the caravan didn't have any locks on its windows, and my oldest, being the flight risk that he is, he quickly found that out and tried numerous times throughout the night to jump out the window. So yeah,
was he in a room on his own?
No. So what we done was we would give him melatonin, and then one of us would kind of stay in the kind of adult room, the double bedroom with him, and wait until he fell asleep before we could do anything else. And it would take a long time for that to happen, and then there was numerous times where like my partner would be in, and if she even like shut her eyes for a split second, he'd be at the window, and she caught him at one point, and he was near enough jumping out the window as she caught him. So yeah, it was quite eventful, but thankfully the kind of the last few days her family popped up and gave us a bit of a break, which was good. And we went to the beach and stuff like that, and it was really good because the tide was out. So, the beach, it was absolutely massive, and there was lots of free space for the kids to play. And
good, no restrictions, they can just run about. I mean,
yeah, pretty
it
much.
Must be, it must be quite difficult. Obviously, we spoke about your oldest quite a lot. It must be quite difficult knowing that he is obviously a flight risk. And is there, with these things, what kind of support can you actually get for that at all? Other than, I know obviously you've said previously about adaptations to the home and stuff, is there any other services out there that try and help kind of understand the behaviour or anything like that?
So when it came to the actual park themselves, we didn't really, we signed them up for a few activities that were kind of more catered to their needs. So like there was a sensory room we used a few times that was good. There was also like a kind of like a bouncing type one with like a big inflatable area for them to run in. So that was good. Any other really activities, it was, they were right out in the open. It was just, it wasn't really viable given the fact that there was, 2 of us to 3 kids. That was the kind of ratio we were looking at. But we did decide on, I think it was the second last day, we went to the Heads of Air Park.
Good.
With when my partner's family came up, and the ratio was a lot better in the sense that there was 5 adults to 3 kids in that regard. So the kids had a lot of fun. They got to saw lots of different animals. Got to play on a lot of different things. It was absolutely roasting the whole time we were away as well.
Was it busy at the Heads of Air Farm?
Yeah, it started off quite quiet, but as the day picked up, lots of families had the same idea. The animals were really like popular. There was like animal feeding classes on as well that was really popular. So yeah, I think it was one of those that we halfway through the holiday we had to stop giving our oldest melatonin. Because a wee while ago he had a convulsive seizure, and we found that lately he's been having a lot of kind of absent seizures where he's just kind of like staring off into thin air, and you're kind of trying to grab his attention, and he's just sitting there and his lips go kind of blue.
Right, okay.
And after a while the colour returns to his lips, and then he just falls asleep. No, it absolutely knackers him out and puts him to sleep. But what we've found the last kind of twice we've done it, it's he's had melatonin the night before, so we're kind of trying to just see if there's a link.
Yeah, an adverse effect. Have you guys? Has he been on melatonin for?
He's been on melatonin for years.
I know you said he's had breaks on and off. Have you ever been given anything else? I know that there's different options, or what is it, like promethazine, these sort of things?
So he's on promethazine, and he's on kind of slow release melatonin, but we haven't given him melatonin probably for about going on 10 days now.
Okay, and how's that going?
Horrible.
Do you find does the melatonin make a massive difference?
Yeah, I think my oldest, he can be up for 2 or 3 days straight if he wants to, if he really pushes himself, which for me and my partner, when we have different things on with the other children as well, it's very difficult. My partner, she also works night shift some nights, and she's had a few things going on at her place of work where the staff kind of numbers have been very short, so she's kind of stepped up and she's doing these extra shifts, which is obviously good financially, but physically, especially with the kids, it can be tough. It can be tougher, So it's just one of those that we have to try and make it work. Yeah. So it's been difficult in the sense that he's not been on melatonin, and believe me, there's some nights you're like, oh, Dad, just do it.
Just take it yourself.
Yeah, that, and a bottle of Xanax, some Xanax or something like that. But no, it's just one of those that we're kind of waiting on. We're waiting on his epilepsy appointment, and hopefully that arrives sooner sooner, and
than
we
later.
can find out what we can do.
Definitely, no, it definitely sounds like a stressful summer. Glenn, have you had a terrible a time, or
Hopefully not.
Absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I mean, ours is just kind of starting. Obviously, we finished at the same time as everybody else, of course, but we are going to be doing the lodge, caravan lodge, this weekend. Thanks for really putting me off it, Sam.
Yeah,
I
of
really
course.
appreciate it.
Happy to help.
at least like if it does go poorly, you can always think, well, maybe at least it didn't go as bad.
Yeah,
Sam's.
yeah.
So that can be always that can always be your
I don't
positivity.
think Elijah's a flight risk though, in the same sense. So
No,
you
not in
should be
Not in the same
okay.
sense, no. I mean, I look forward to being like on Sunday, being like, oh mate, I had a really good weekend. Obviously, we were so relaxed, which it won't be. So don't worry about that.
It's all right. You can sit. I'll just sit here with my fist clenched against the table, like that's great. That's really good.
Going back to your story, then I find it mad that like, obviously, granted they're going by English holidays, but none of these food places were prepared for like holiday sessions, which is essentially what air is.
Surely, like their holiday period, it should really just be based on like how many bookings and things they have. Like,
Yeah.
I suppose. I mean, did you see anyone else when you were there, Sam?
There was tons of people. Like honestly, like, and there were all people who had the similar idea of taking their children out early to go to the Haven parks, and it was just one of those that like we kind of planned it better, and we had food, we had like meals and backup just in case.
Yeah.
But it was one of those that if we had a clue it wasn't going to be within peak season, we would have prepared beforehand.
Yeah.
So it was it felt like we were just kind of falling at the first hurdle, in the sense that the kids needed fed, and as you guys know, food is a massive thing with ASN children. So
But at least you've got something good there. Obviously, you went to Heads of Air. Obviously, you've got some sort of fun memory from it all. You don't want it to all be absolutely...
like even going to the beach and stuff like that with the kids, it was great. And I stayed in the caravan with the two boys, and my partner, she took our daughter to the swimming, the big inflatable swimming and things, and they had a ball. So there was good aspects. I think it very much kind of signalled to us that I think we both kind of turned around and went, that's probably going to be the last holiday for a good wee while.
Yeah.
But I think it was mainly just how many kind of needs that our oldest has like significantly increased since the last holiday we were on. So it just became that bit harder to do anything.
And can you get any sort of care for your oldest at all, or have you ever had? I don't know if you've ever
he's
had
got
like could is there ever a chance, like, do you think that, obviously you don't want to like exclude him or anything like that, but do you think that would ever be an option, that you could get an overnight of him watched? That means you can spend some time with other kids, an overnight, like something.
Yeah.
Like,
so at the moment we're very much looking down the route of respite. There's a respite, I think it's like Stoneside in Glasgow somewhere, that we're currently looking at. My partner, we did have a look at it's a Country View. That's quite a popular one from our local catchment area, but my partner's not that keen. It's just not quite the right fit for our oldest. So we're looking at respite, but also my oldest, he has I think it was a SDS funding for a PA.
Yep.
He originally had the funding set for an after school club. But the after school club, he was having fun, but they lost him twice, and it became an issue.
Yeah,
so
that would be a problem.
Yeah, it very much just we turned around and went like, listen, can we use the funding in any other way?
Yeah.
We decided to use it for PAs, and he had a PA for a wee while, but she got offered a kind of placement in a local a local kind of ASN stay in area, and they wanted to keep her on, so it was just one of those. And we're still kind of on the lookout for PAs, but it's very much in their control. Is it going to be flexible enough? And also, with the greatest respect, our oldest, he isn't a beginner level, someone who's stepping into looking after ASN children for the first time. He's not that. With the greatest respect, he's not that beginner case study. He's expert level difficulty. You know?
Sounds like it from what you've said.
But I think it's just for us, we're just gonna, if we're going to do holidays, we'll try and base it in the future around more family members having a better, parent to child ratio.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
sounds like a good shout.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to try and do.
Nice one.
Well, we had Elijah's birthday party for his 8th. Andy, you were in attendance.
I was.
Andy had said to me on a drive home a couple of weeks back that he'd not really had any interactions with Elijah, and then the first interaction he had with Elijah on the day was he bought him a lollipop.
Yeah.
Because he asked for one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
Ended up buying 2 lollipops, neither of them for my own child. I think I've just got that look that people, I won't say no.
Never say you're not charitable.
That's it.
I need to hang
That was
out with
really
you
good
more
though.
often,
Yeah,
man.
it was a good time. I think everybody enjoyed themselves. It was a little bit manic. I think it was probably because it was later in the evening. I say afternoon, it wasn't really evening. So everybody had already been quite busy. It was been warm that day. Birthdays are always a weird one for us because he gets spoilt. That's the best way to put it. Like, he has so much stuff, and then it becomes so overwhelming because he wants to open everything, he wants to play with everything straight away, and we need to spread this out.
Yeah.
We can't always can't have everything first straight away. And then everybody was so generous at the party as well, and we brought everything back. And Jay's like, "Do we let him open these as well?" So no, he goes to bed. We'll open them up, and he'll have things aside. So
Yeah, because you prefer the enjoyment of opening the presents, don't you?
yeah, of course, because that's what it is. You know what I like? Seeing everybody's addresses on the Amazon parcels, so I know where I can egg things if they're terrible presents.
This is true. What I thought was poor was the birthday boy wasn't allowed to climb on top of the soft play like Romeo was. That should have been his extra gift. He had that extra allowance.
He got plenty of climbing in, don't you worry. Romeo's got a special climbing license,
Yeah.
isn't he, really?
That's it.
Bless him. We did have another good interaction for some of this so far. I've talked a couple of times about the fact that Elijah doesn't do haircuts very well, and he has, since that episode came out, successfully had 2 haircuts with little to no issue from one of the mums from the charity, Jodie. So shout out to Jodie and a wonderful hairdressing. Wasn't without issue, but he definitely better than me and Jade having to pin him down, wrestle him to the floor, and then just all 3 of us crying. So yes, happy to say that positive step forward is going for him.
So are you planning to just kind of regularly get his hair cut now in terms of to keep him used to it, just a little and often, or?
Yeah, I think we'll try. I think he's let Jade do a couple of snips here and there, obviously just to kind of get rid of some of the wiry bits.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jodie might be his barber now for the rest of his life, so she's going to have to deal with it.
There you go. Get the contract
keep our
signed.
schedule clear.
Jodie's lovely. But yes, we've got our caravan this weekend. We're going to somewhere called the Ho Seasons. So it's not quite. It's still in air. I think it's close. I'm not sure whereabouts. I think it's close to Craigtara, so I'm not really sure how that works. But we will be going down tomorrow after mine and Jade's 10-year anniversary lunch.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. Nobody thought we'd get there. Neither did we. But we've survived so far. 23 years of knowing each other, 15 years in a relationship, and 10 years married.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would your advice be for any listeners?
Don't do it.
I thought you were going to say keep her happy or something like that, but no, just avoid it.
Just avoid it. I can't say obviously that we haven't been happy. We have been. Obviously, there's been a lot of challenges along the way, and there always is, as you both know in long-term relationships. But we're still going strong, and that's all that matters.
Good, yeah, and we're looking forward. So we can announce that Glyn is going to be doing a vlog. The full time is away. He'll be live 24/7. So we can look forward to that getting published after.
I made it very clear to my beloved wife, who is a trustee for one of the charities we work for, that if she touches her phone and does any charity work, her phone will be going in the sea. Because she is attached to it 24/7, and I love her dearly. And
She's a busy woman.
I just wanted to have some time to have a break, because she does work very hard for what she does. All the women do for that charity.
She done a very we bumped into each other at the kind of gymnastics event. That was brilliant, and it was brilliantly run. And poor Jade, she was flying about like a headless.
She'd mentioned that Sam helped manhandle my child out of the.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt bad because we couldn't obviously attend Elijah's birthday.
Yes.
So you thought you should just manhandle him? And
Yeah,
like-
pretty
like-
much.
if- if
Yeah, I
we
was
could
like,
just
well,
rag
I
on
may
him.
as well. Didn't give him my birthday present. Here's a suplex.
It was within reason. Obviously, you said to us, obviously, like your youngest wasn't well, obviously, and I totally understood. You'd had a busy week, so it wasn't like I was like damn it.
Oh,
But-
I know. Do you know? I think just though, like any kind of ASN events in the past, I barely even got a chance to like see Elijah or like talk to you guys. Well, you've been there. I've been too busy sprinting after my own kids, to be fair. But it was nice to spend a wee bit of time with Elijah, and he was building like a house on top of it's like a climbing frame with
Was it a potty? No.
Not this time.
No. It was he had kind of soft play stuff, and he was building like a house and stuff like that, and all the kids were leaving, and I was like, right, Elijah, are you going to come down? All the kids are leaving, and he was like, I need to build the house, and I was like, okay. I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that we do with Elijah, it's normally like 2 hours or so. So he's got time to kind of like fall into a routine of what he's doing. But some of these sessions that we're doing now, they're only an hour long. So by the time he's got himself settled and he's started to find a rhythm in what he wants to do, it's time to go. So I think he gets upset at the fact that the transition is so quick
Yeah.
to what he's used to. Whereas obviously if he's going to the Bouncy Bees or he's going to pop in and play, he's there for a couple of hours, so he can just go and do what he wants to do, and then by the time he's got to 2 hours up, he's done anyway.
See, I don't know how you guys, although it's usually Jade that does Bouncy Bees, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Like, we were at Bouncy Bees with Ashton a couple of days ago, and it's just, like, I don't know if Elijah's the same, but Ashton just makes us basically go on the trampoline the full time with him, and it is exhausting because you need to bounce, but also make sure that you don't bounce him off the trampoline the full time, because it's like an Olympic trampoline. It is so bouncy.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to get to the point where I could just sit on the couch and he would just bounce up and down. Probably still have a heart attack just watching him, but it would be a lot less tiring than having to bounce the full time.
My oldest, he still tries to sit on my shoulders, and I have to pick him up. And with the greatest respect, he's 5 foot tall, he's 60 kilograms in absolute sheer muscle.
Deadlifted?
I'm sitting there going, I need to go to the gym to keep up in order to make sure I can lift this.
Yeah.
He's 9 and he's the size of a 14-year-old, so I try and lift him up, and I'm like, oh, I can honestly feel my knees go, you're 30 now, what are you doing? Like, stop.
Must be so.
Very true.
Being 30, it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it must be a struggle for you, Sam.
Yeah. Listen, I've got the back of an 80-year-old, I've got the sleeping pattern of a 60-year-old, so yeah,
Fair. Speaking of trampolines, we were at an ESN session at iPlay a few weeks back. I was wondering about, and there's definitely a trampoline in here somewhere. Sam has mentioned multiple times there's a trampoline, but I had never ever seen it before. And I kept asking people, where is there a trampoline?
It's over by the baby bit, isn't it?
Yes, it turns out. So it's right at the very top, so I managed to kind of steer Ashton in there, which is ideal because it means that he kind of stays up there for a bit, because otherwise he just, again, runs about stealing people's phones, that sort of stuff. But the funny thing at that one was, as we mentioned, Romeo likes to climb on top of the soft play and everything, and he climbed up, and you're kind of like, okay, seems okay, and then he'll climb up to the next level. You're like, oh, maybe there's a bit of an issue. Then he goes up to the next level, and you're like, yep, time, we need to get him down. And Barry had to climb up to get him.
Oh,
and then at the full time, Ashton's obsessed with Barry and Helen, and he always just picks up their shoes and things. So Barry was up on top of the soft play trying to get Romeo down, so right at the very kind of top bit of the kids area, and Ashton was like running inside the soft play with Barry's shoes, like Barry's shoes, trying to give him his shoes back the whole time. So no, it's always eventful anyway.
Okay, I think I love iPlay. I honestly, when our oldest goes in there, he either goes up to that trampoline and he'll spend the entire time on it, or he'll go, like, see behind the kind of big slide, there's that kind of circular swing, the tire swing. He'll spend all of his time on that as well, and I'm like he knows what he wants, but at the end of the day, always kind of, you see him like slowly moving over towards like the cash register, and he's got his eye on the slushy machines, and that's normally we have to kind of bribe him out of the place. Yeah. So
it's funny with iPlay that there's a bit of the side and you've got the slide that goes down, and then there's a slide that you climb up. And the amount of times Ashton's tried to get me to slide down the one that's got the big, huge like steps up it, and I'm like, no, this is a step too far.
That breaking.
Yeah, we're not doing this one.
Oh God, I said our oldest tried to get me up there one time, and I was like, listen, with the greatest respect, son, I'm pushing 18
30.
and a half stone, man. I'm like, I will get trapped if I go down this slide, like, and I'm not having the fire service come out to try and dislodge me from a child's slide. Like, at that point, I would need to retire and, go into hiding or something like that.
For the podcast.
I would vlog it. Oh yeah, I'd be like, hi guys, it's Sam. I'm trapped on a slide.
Do it live. What about you, Andy? What's your summer look like so far?
So it's been, for me, it's been a lot easier for me than it has been for Cheryl. So I've been working. Cheryl's taken the first couple of weeks off to watch Ashton, which is obviously pretty tiring if you're doing it solo parenting. Kind of luckily, there's been Super Kids on in Ashton's school.
Right.
So this is like a charity in East Wren that puts on kind of full days in the school, which is great. It's right across the road from us. So Ashton goes there, has been there pretty much every day. And it's just brilliant because it's his school, he knows where everything is, he's comfortable, he absolutely loves the workers, they've got the playground and everything. It just means, so that was like 10:30 till 3 pretty much every day up until the Wednesday that's just passed. So some people would call it yesterday. And yeah, so that's obviously helped, having things to do. But we found that the first few days he was fine, but then it's as if he almost realised, okay, this isn't just a weekend anymore, this is a proper change to routine. So things like his toileting had been a bit up in the air. It was getting to the point where he would have accidents, and then we would obviously kind of say to him, like, tell him off, like, where'd you do the toilet, that sort of stuff. And again, I think we've said before that Ashton doesn't know the difference between like kind of getting into trouble or something, like a kind of negative reaction to positive. He just thinks it's all emotion, so like something's funny or that sort of thing. So then it was getting to the point where he would be, one of the times in the house he was just sitting and just peed all over his toys, and then ran over to Cheryl and gave the phone back and was like, no phone, as if like he was acting out like this is what's going to happen, because he's like, I know what emotional response I'm going to get here. So again, it's one of those things where you're trying to not give any sort of reaction, don't kind of play up to it. And again, now it's just trying to kind of build in that routine again. I think we've said previously that school are amazing because they have such a good routine, and with all the will in the world, it's so hard to replicate that when you're just in the house or you're out with the kids. It's so hard to think.
I think you truly appreciate schools, especially during the summer. You're like, man, these guys need to do this for about 6 hours of the day.
Oh my, and like, oh my God, spending that much time with my child for that long. Oh,
listen, my oldest has been out of school for a year, and it's been the longest year of my life. Like, I love him dearly, I really do. But oh my God, I can't. I am counting down the seconds until he goes back to school.
The oldest 30-year-old about.
Honestly, yeah. Like, I'm going to, honestly, at some point I'm going to come in here and I'm going to have like the full on, the grey beard, like the kind of the grey hair, all of that, and it's just going to be like, I'm going to have that kind of, it's been a long time.
I know, you'll sound like Barry. But
next year we're going looking for wild birds.
Yeah, that's it.
It's been 84 years.
But other than that, Cheryl's done amazing with Ashton. We've tried to do, again, what we said last time, just try to keep him as busy as possible. Different sessions that have been on, which have been great. A couple of things have been good, a couple of things have been bad. So, for example, one of the times he had an accident, and it was one of these ones where I could tell he had done it on purpose. So I was kind of like, right, go upstairs, get yourself some pants, and go stay in your room for a bit, which isn't any sort of punishment because he just loves in his room anyway. But in my head, I'm like, that's it, strong dad. And then I went outside, he came downstairs and he'd put his own boxers on and got himself a sun hat, and I nearly just burst into tears, and I was like, oh my God, like you've put your own pants on, you've got everything on perfect, you went and got yourself a hat, and it was like a proper proud dad moment, like, oh my God, I can't believe you've managed to put your own pants on, which sounds like the smallest thing ever, but then it was like, oh my God, like this is like, it's almost like a step towards independence essentially. So it was a very proud dad moment for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's been up and down, but I won't hog all the limelight. There's plenty of time in the episode that I can jump back into
I was
to
going to say, I
lighten the
know
mood
that
or
you-
to drop the mood.
I know recently, I don't know if you addressed it last week, what was it, the week that I was away, but obviously you and Cheryl had that assessment done. I don't know if you'd discussed that.
Way to bring down the mood and put Andy on the spot there. Well done.
Yeah, of course. I listen. I asked him before how long. What age that Ash didn't get diagnosed or something like that?
Put
And he
me on the
looked at
spot.
me as if I was an alien.
So we haven't prepped this. Stick to the script. So I think I've mentioned before that we have had a private diagnosis of ADHD for Ashton, and we're currently in the process of trying to get that ratified with CAMS. And as part of that process, we had to go through some different steps, and one of those is getting a learning disability diagnosis. I know, Sam, you said your oldest has went through the same as well, and it's essentially you have to complete something called the Vineland's assessment, and it essentially works out, it kind of gives a equivalent age that your child's at. And yeah, so Ashton got his learning disability diagnosis. I think it's something that when they're younger, they get a diagnosis of global development delay, and I'm assuming that 9 times out of 10 it usually will eventually turn into a learning disability diagnosis. Whether you have to get it or not is probably another thing. But yeah, I think it's one of these ones where Cheryl was quite upset about it, and for me, I almost felt that you're kind of quite numb to it sometimes. I'm sure it's something that'll hit me, but I think it's just that way where you're kind of like, I think when Ashton got his Fragile X diagnosis, that was the kind of biggest shock, the kind of biggest dagger at that point, because that essentially just said about how he'll need kind of help for the rest of his life and everything. So it's almost as if like kind of anything else that's kind of neurological is almost kind of in my head. It's kind of like, well, kind of expected that now, and so it was a strange one, but it's also still not nice to hear. So I didn't read the full report because I didn't want to put myself down, but I think it's that the same way that we've said about, and I think a lot of the other dads are the same recently about having like autism diagnosis for their kids, that you 100% go in there expecting to get it, but it still hurts when it happens. And when you're reading things or when you're reading anything that's kind of against your child, it still does kind of hurt that way. So yeah, we got that. I mean, and on the positive, that I'm hoping that will kind of open up some more support for him. But yeah, I think the kind of analysis in terms of what age he was at was a bit of a shock. But yeah, doesn't change anything about Ashton. He's still a great wee guy.
He's a great kid. He really is. We were at Inflate Nation last weekend, and you'd popped along as well, and just seeing Ashton just loving his life in the ball pit was great. Yeah,
he was loving Noah. He kept going up to Noah in the kids one, just kind of going right up to his face and just going, hi. But it's funny with Ashton, it's like Ashton's not an aggressive kid or anything like that, but he's a very clumsy kid. So whenever he's like going around the outside, I'm like, Ashton, watch, don't just collapse on Noah and like that. So you're always kind of like, oh. But no, that was good. Inflate Nation again was good. It's just always so warm.
It is very warm, isn't it?
So warm. Yeah. And Ashton just likes to go in a wee bit and then run back down, then in a wee bit and then run back down. So that's always fun. But yeah, I guess the other thing we could talk about, which was a few weeks ago now, is we had one of our dad events. This one was provided by the Every Kind of Mind charity. For some of the dads involved in that, we went to the Jungle Rumble mini golf. About 16 of us or something went. Was that right?
It was a good amount. Yeah.
Good catch.
I think some of us went to Walkabout beforehand, just for a wee drink and a catch up.
Yeah, and we've realised that Sam doesn't actually know how to cut pizza in any possible way.
Yeah, that was.
I missed this.
Oh, honestly, I was trying to cut the thing and it just was not budging.
It was an entire Sam issue. It was nothing to do with the pizza. There was no problem there.
Just unadulterated Sam.
Yeah.
Listen, I have cut many a pizza in my lifetime. That one was just not for having it. But
it must have been the pressure with all the dads watching you.
Yeah,
but
I just
a bad tradesman always blames his tools.
This is true. But no, it was
wasn't
good.
my pizza cutter.
Because there was quite a few of the dads out that night that hadn't been out before, so it was good to meet some new dads. So we split up. into different teams for the golf, and then we ended up doing it a bit later, and we were forced to listen to. This time it wasn't. Although Sam, were you karaoke this time?
Somebody signed me up
Yeah,
for a song,
we
and
never know how it worked because your name just popped up, and we were like, everybody's like, who put Sam up for it? And we're like, nobody.
No, but honestly, I sat and they picked, like, I love Queen. I absolutely love Queen, but they picked like the highest vocal song like they could have picked, and now I had a few libations at this point, so my voice wasn't reaching that level. And I butchered it, and I was like, "Oh, that was awful."
I know, I can't let everyone booed you out. It was embarrassing.
Honestly, yeah. I
Then
cried in the toilet.
Everyone was just screaming for Glyn to come back on.
Oh yeah, and Glyn killed it.
One more song.
Glyn did twice, and Glyn fumbled at the second because he thought he could still rap.
There was that old guy as well that had.
He was amazing.
Oh my god, he just hit out with like.
He wasn't even reading. You can tell he's there every weekend.
Was that Rob or John?
No. It wasn't even a member of it. It wasn't even a member of the group. It was just this old guy. This old guy. I'm sure he's a lovely person, but this old guy had got up to sing, and he just hit out with. Like this, it was like a full rap song, or something. And he just hit it, just nailed every single. And we were both kind of sitting there, like, what's going on?
Rob's was a creature of his own creation because he kept telling everybody to do like a virgin. So we're like, you know what, Rob, why don't you go do it? And that is something I will take with me to my dying day. It was haunting.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
And a couple of you guys went up, and obviously John went up as well.
John, he was quite the beautiful crooner as well.
Oh, he was trying to get me up to sing, and I was like, listen, I have to get the last train. I was like, I can't miss my last train home, so
true.
I swiftly left the building after that.
It was a good night. Again, any dads out there, maybe listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your audio, or if you're listening on Paisley Radio at the moment, reach out. Give us a shout. You can be involved in our next meetup. We are playing bowls next. Always looking for extra people to come along. We do lots of different events to try and keep the dads relaxed, keep the dads sane. Looking forward.
I was going to say, what have we done so far? So we've just done the golf. We've done bowling.
We've done bowling.
We've
done
the comedy club.
Done the comedy club, and we've done darts. We did Flight Club.
Oh god, yeah, the darts.
I think that might be it.
That's all we've done so
far.
It'd be good to go back to Flight Club again because I didn't get to go the first time. I'm a dab hand.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that would be good. To be fair, it was really. I loved like the interactive games and stuff like that they've done with the darts. That was really cool.
Yeah, Flight Club's good. It's good the fact that you can push a button, order your drinks and everything as well.
Yeah.
And obviously it records. If you have a good shot, it records. You can get pictures taken, you can get videos taken all in the booth, and it's obviously quite central, just off George Square. So yeah, I think that's one that we'll do. But I think one of the mentions was people wanted to go to. Is it NQ64? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's fun. But it's got like retro arcade games in it as well.
Yes.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Be good. Obviously, Glenn, you'll need to tell Sam what they are. Because Sam's too young for most of them, probably.
Listen, right. I grew up in I grew
PS4.
Up with, listen, I grew up with a PS1. I remember.
These will date before then, son.
Listen, I was introduced very young to gaming. So
2 buttons and a little joystick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean NQ64 would be interesting for us to take on as like a secondary thing. Even the cocktails in there are named after like gaming and characters and stuff like that. So
if they do cocktails, Rob will be in.
He will absolutely be in there, ready and waiting.
Definitely.
Honestly, I seen him get his golf club, and he turned round with it was some sort of red cocktail with a little umbrella, and I was like, oh, here we go.
He's
I was like, the night has started, hasn't it?
He's a gentle giant. You look at him, you think he's going to be an absolute bruiser, but he just walks around with his cocktail, and I'm just like, fair enough, son, fair enough.
Yeah, I know. I think I touched before about one of Ashton's small victories. Another small victory that was completely unexpected. So Ashton had been bitten at school a couple of times, probably about 6 months ago now. But at that point, one of the bites had like broken the skin, so we had taken him to the doctors to be, is there anything to worry about? And they were kind of like, you can get bloods taken just to check, and that's fine. The bloods took 6 months, so anything that affected him, hopefully there was nothing, because it was 6 months too late otherwise.
He's
so
now fighting crime.
Yeah.
And he's got the powers of a spider.
Yeah.
He's turned into a Cape Crusader.
Yeah, that's how he's grabbing all the phones with the web slingers. Phone man. But so we took him into the hospital to get his blood test, and I don't know if any of you guys, I know Sam, you've obviously had some experience with hospital visits. I don't know if you have, Glyn, but usually with this sort of stuff, we need to pin Ashton down, which is horrible because he just gets so upset. But this time we went in, and he's starting to understand things a lot more. So he kind of knows he's like doctor, nurse. So this is the kind of one of the main things we actually keep him in his pram for. And it was that way of like, I'll hold his legs, Cheryl holds his arms, the nurse kind of gets ready and they spray his arm. And I just had his phone sitting on the table so he could kind of watch that instead of watching the blood getting taken. But then instead he just sat and just looked and just watched the person take his blood. And I was kind of like that, like,
what have you done with
what is going on? And me and Cheryl were both kind of like, did he struggle with you at all? And we're like, nope. We're like, oh my God, have we just turned some sort of corner here? Because I think every parent wants to try and get to the point where you're not having to pin them down at all, because it's horrible for both of you, the look that you get. From Ashton, it's essentially just like, you have betrayed me, exactly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was another small victory that he was able to cope in the hospital. He was also in the GP, so summer so far has been pretty eventful.
Nice.
Again, done pretty well, but with Ashton, with these kind of routines and the way he thinks about things, that whenever he goes into the doctors now, he expects to get his. So he was in a few weeks ago getting his glands checked. So now at random, he'll just be sitting, he'll just go, doctor, check your neck. He'll go, check your ears, check your nose, check your mouth. So when he went into the GP this time, the doctor didn't do any of that. So I think he was kind of like, well, what's going on here?
You haven't followed the script here, pal.
Come back, we've got to do everything.
Exactly.
Expect a full physical every time I come in here.
But it's a good one to have.
Getting a full MOT is important, yeah.
No, definitely. So yeah, a couple of small victories, so it's been quite good. Again, as I say, I've not been on the kind of main carer part of the summer holidays so far, because Cheryl's picked that up, but I think overall it has been positive so far.
Are you due to switch soon, or I know you said before that you have to kind of pick your
Andy's looking for the button to cut you off, so
yeah. the ejector button, you know. So we have things planned, so the way that mine and Cheryl's shift patterns work, we can kind of cover certain days. He's in there's some clubs that run at school, he can go in and get support. He's managed to get some space on day trips as well towards the end of July, so it's more sporadic kind of days off between us to watch him. But I think we've just been kind of lucky this time that there is quite a lot of things on to do. Like one of the ones was, which is brilliant, was Sporty Kids reached out to basically ask when is there ASN sessions on through the summer, so that they can try to put some on in the gaps.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And I think they've put on 2 ASN sessions every week for the entire holidays, and it's 3:30. So I think it's 3:30 or 3 o'clock. Don't quote me. But I think that's just brilliant, because every other place you go to for an ASN session is 9 in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. So yeah, I think Sporty Kids have always been massive advocates. All we can do is say thank you for that. So
yeah, definitely. Like, the girls at Sporty Kids are great for that as well. Like it's good that because you messaged into the dad chat and be like, what day would work for everybody, like, and they were willing to kind of work around a schedule at large.
Definitely.
To find that, and yeah, it being at a mid-afternoon slot is so changing.
Yeah, it's unheard of.
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like, especially this summer, there is a lot more for our children to do than last summer. I don't know if that's a thing that it's you guys might have a think about, but
I think it looks like that as well, but it's also hard to tell if it's just we know about them more.
Yeah.
Whether we've, like, obviously from last year, we probably weren't as prepared as we should have, whereas this year it's kind of like, for months, it's like we need to get something planned in every single day. And that's when it comes to like your pop in and play, your bouncy bees, and all these exclusive hire places, Life's Little Rainbows, just to try and fill those gaps, because the days can be very long. But I think it has been great that there is quite a lot of places out there that are doing ASN sessions, which is massive.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I think it's similar to what you said previously. we probably weren't as prepared. I say we were. Jade probably wasn't as prepared last year because it was her first year with Noah. Realistically, because of my work, I still have to work through the summer holidays for the most part. Thankfully, I'm taking a week off this year. So from now, essentially, I'm off until mid-July. Like, I'm taking a full week with the 2 weekends. So I'm off all next week. Unfortunately, Noah will be off next week as well because he's got to have a week off from nursery.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
It is. It's absolutely unfortunate. How dare I have to spend time with both my children? It's ridiculous. No, it's absolutely fine because we've got plenty of things booked in for both the boys. I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about how you don't like spending time with Noah.
Yeah, I hate my children. No, I'll
That's going to get clapped in. We'll say that at the start of every episode.
Jay doesn't listen to this anyway. It's we've got a lot on for next week. Unfortunately, one downside to it all is that Noah's got to have his immunisations next week, and every time he's had his immunisations, he's had a bad reaction. Obviously, I talked about it before. Last time he had that measles reaction, which wasn't measles, but it's shown as measles. The first one he had, it presented as like a UTI. So he was 3 months old and he was already in hospital for an overnight. So that was fun. So God only knows what this one will bring out as well.
Fingers crossed that it's the immune system's.
You can only hope so.
Yeah.
Jade's off for a weekend with some of the mums next week as well. So I'll be solo parenting. So fingers crossed that he doesn't have a reaction.
Will you be at Inflate Nation with both kids?
I will not.
Oh, you won't have the car?
I don't drive. My chauffeur will be up and away.
He's going to lock the door until Jade's back.
I will just put...
Buy 5 watermelons, leave them out.
Jade took took Elijah to the shops the other week because she's trying to break the boundary for herself to take him out to do things more. So like last week, she was like, okay, Elijah, what do you want to do? And he was like, I want to go get noodles. So they went to Chopsticks in Suburban, went to the works, got some paper and some art stuff and the mimic from work, and then we walked back. I sent a couple of pictures into the dad chat about it. So she's trying to break her own stresses, as it were, with regards to taking him out. So they went to Home Bargains a couple of days ago, and the Home Bargains they went to had fresh fruit and veg in there, and obviously that was him. That's it. Just honed in on it. So he smashed one watermelon in Home Bargains because he was too excited, and then we took another one home with him.
Finally!
Apparently he was just standing there with his watermelon and just went. And then
the visual of that is wonderful.
That's one of the ones where Jay just walks up with £10, just kind of gives it to the cashier.
I mean,
you didn't see anything.
Apparently the woman was
You saw nothing.
Yeah, apparently the woman was raging at her. She's like, I mean, I'll pay for it. And she goes, I know you will. So he came back with another one. He was waiting for me to come home so I could cut this one up. It didn't wait that long because I got home and it was split in half, and I'm like, this wasn't a good watermelon anyway, mate, so it's fine. I chopped it up for him, he took a bit and walked away. I'm like, cool.
You need to get those big watermelons that I sent you?
No, I didn't get one. You didn't even tell me where they were. You just sent me a picture.
True.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to having a week off with my entire family, as well as you can tell. I think it's definitely harder for us, obviously, because Jade, being a teacher, she gets the whole of the summer holidays off. So I get a bit of dad guilt on the fact of I can only take a week off here and there. But it's one of those, obviously, my holidays work around the childcare that we need for the whole year. So I'll take a week this week, and then I'll have a week October week. I'll have a week over Easter. Only get 4.5 week a year, so I just have to kind of pick out where I can.
I think especially teaching, it's like you're like so like locked in for a full block of like 8 weeks with the kids, and then you don't, obviously teaching you have like the holidays that match along with all of the other children out there, but it can be difficult to kind of even find the time without trying to recover from teaching.
There is no recovery.
No, but I think holidays are a nightmare all round, I think, in terms of the kids, because there's not enough holidays for you to take from your work to cover them, and there's just no solution. There's no sort of ASN contract. Obviously there's things like carers leave.
I mean,
that sort of stuff, but
I wouldn't say lucky. I'm going to say lucky for, to make it sound like I'm the model parent here, but I'm lucky that I don't work at the moment, so I get to spend all of my time with my children. Yay! I think it's been good in that sense, but I can only imagine that if you're in a job, and you've obviously got that obligation to go in, but then your children start kicking off at home or something like that, it can be really difficult.
Yeah, just need to ignore it and come and work. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, I know when my youngest, he was just born, I was in a kind of stockroom job up in Braehead, and then I get moved on to night shifts because of the summer coming in. There was lots more stock was coming in, but they could only deliver it at night, so I get moved on to night shift, and that was brutal for our family at the time. It was just, my partner was kind of having to stay up with the kids at night, and then having to stay up with them near enough during the day while I slept and get ready for the next night shift. So it can be really tough.
It is tough. It is. And on that note, something that we're finding tough at home at the moment that hopefully one of you two gentlemen can help with is Ashton's eating. Constant wanting to get to the cupboard to eat.
Is it out of boredom? Because I think that's what Elijah's doing for the most part for eating at the moment.
I think so. Like, to be fair, Ashton's kind of always done it. He does it a lot more at home or in certain places, but in the house it can be he literally just have his dinner and then he'll want to eat a packet of crisps. Or he'll just wonder about something else. And one of the things that Cheryl's trying just now, or Cheryl and me, mainly Cheryl, is we ordered a timer and we're literally just setting half an hour increments, being like, when the timer goes off, you can go get a snack, nothing in between it, to try and get it so he knows he has to wait that time. Cheryl even took it out with her when she was going to like soft play and stuff, to be like, right, timer goes off, you get your snack, because otherwise he would just go through, raise the fridge, raise the cupboards and everything. And it's so difficult because it depends how you look at it, because certain kids don't eat, and that is a completely different, just as difficult situation. But my massive worry is that Ashton keeps overeating, puts on a lot of weight, and he's going to never be able to shift it off. Like, it's not as if Ashton's going to be able to sign up to the gym or something. So that is my big worry. And again,
I think that's very valid. I think I have the same worry with my oldest at the moment. He runs about the house and he's very, very active, but he eats so much to the point where he does have a little bit of kind of that, we call it podge.
Timber.
He has a wee bit of
timber.
Yeah, of course. But so what we've started to do in the house, we've got like kind of baskets. So we picked up like 3 different coloured baskets, and what we've started to do is put in like maybe 6 or 7 snacks. And the way we've kind of phrased it with our kids is, if you're hungry, so fridge stuff like yogurts, fruit, all of that stuff you can have whenever. Freezer stuff like ice lollies and stuff like that, they can have in moderation. And then like snack wise, they can have something out of their basket, but once their basket is empty, that's them shut off from having sort of stuff like that. And for our 2 oldest children, it's definitely made a difference. Our daughter, she's like, right, if I have a snack now, I can have a snack then, and then after dinner I can have my other 2 snacks from my bedtime. So she's kind of got it, whereas before it was just, I want a snack, and she was eating maybe twice as much, mainly, like you said, just due to boredom. So we're trying that, and it seems to be doing okay so far. But naturally over the summer, the kids just ramp it up, and it is due to boredom, because you can't take them out every second of every day.
Yeah, and it's I think it's so hard, because in the house he'll know there's food in there. We'll go to Sporty Kids, for example, and he knows that there's crisps there. He can actually grab them. He'll go to iPlay, he knows there's food in there, and he just knows now that there's certain places to go that there's food, whereas he can go to certain other places, absolutely fine, won't touch it. So it is almost as if it's just part of his routine. He's like, I come here and I get something to eat, like no matter what. If he's just had his dinner, he would just eat and eat and eat, and there's times he'll eat until he's sick. So it tells you that he's not hungry. It's just it's just
like that
difficult.
kind of brain connection where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to
and whether it's like just from a sensory perspective as well, he wants to be eaten, But yeah, we're looking at the whole timer option just now, and I've kind of looked into it as well about what are the best foods that he can eat as much as he wants. I want to try and potentially see if I can get him into eating like carrot sticks, cucumber and things like that, to be like, eat as much as you want of that. But yeah, it's obviously easier said than done.
I think that's obviously one of the things that I've always praised for Elijah, is he likes fruit. Obviously, for the most part, it's not great because it's obviously, while we say fruit is good for our kids, it's also very sugary.
Yeah.
So he'll happily eat an orange, but he won't stop at one.
Yep.
He'll eat 4 or 5, and then he'll give himself a bad stomach. Or watermelon. Obviously, as I said before, we can go through a whole pack of watermelon. Like there's the.
Do you not just, if he's had too many oranges, did you not just say to him like, "Orange, you full"?
That's awful. I'm just gonna let us sit for a minute, man. Just take that one in.
Sorry, that was bad.
That was,
watermelon, I am.
How many episodes was that? Was that 20? Obviously, that's we've had a good run.
We've had a good run, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So he will go through a whole pack of watermelon in a day if he wants to, whether it be the fins or the fingers of them.
I just had images there that you're buying full watermelons in packs. Like.
There was a funny, like a couple of years back, we do a lot of our shops like online, and we get them delivered, obviously, because taking the kids to shops is a nightmare. So we'd ordered only like 2 packs of like these 2-pack like watermelon fins, and we had 20 arrive at the house. And they weren't even on the shop or anything like that. They were just randomly chucked in. Like we'd won some sort of watermelon lottery.
Nice.
But yeah, no, Elijah's saying he has been just. I definitely think it's eating out of boredom.
Yeah.
Especially because he knows where everything is in the kitchen. Like he'll just go down. He'll just go into the kitchen.
He's very bored.
Yeah.
Very bored indeed.
What a pair you are.
I won't stoop to this level.
I think it is that way, that if you can get to, it's almost that way, you've got safe foods in the way that they are healthy safe foods, because Ashton's the same way. He would eat a whole packet of plums, nectarines, everything. I think I said before that if he asks for crisp, and eventually he'll talk me down to be like, a plum, as if like, this is healthy, I can have that as much as I want.
Bargain.
Yeah, it'll be that, blueberries, everything. And it's good because he's got such a great kind of plethora of things that he would eat.
Good word.
Plethora.
But it's just obviously from a sugar perspective as well.
Yeah.
You don't want him to have issues with his teeth. But yeah, food is a big battle in our house. And I just worry about when he's getting older and stronger, and food is a big motivator.
No, I understand that as well. And I think that is, it's one of those things that we constantly think about, is the future for the kids. And like yourself, like I'm a big guy, and I don't want Elijah to get to the same level as me and not be able to kind of work that off, because like you say, these kids can't go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And he's very active at the moment. Obviously he loves to run around, he loves to do this and that, but when he gets to a teenager, is that going to stop? Like, is he just going to like...
I think it's all about your relationship with food. I think is really important. You know, I think I look at how the kids are nowadays, where like in our house especially, you know, they can eat whatever they want for kind of you know, if they want like a dessert first, they can have a dessert first. I know we talked about this in the past. And you know, if they finish their food, if they don't finish their food, they can still have a snack. Whereas when I was brought up, it was, if you don't finish your dinner, you're not getting a snack. Mm-hmm. So it really pushed me on to eat kind of beyond what I would have normally ate, in order to then get a dessert. And I think it kind of set me up for having quite a negative relationship with food.
Yeah.
And I do have those same worries with my kids. So it's been one of those that we've been like, eat until you feel full. Mm-hmm. And if there is lots of food left, it's fine. But I think for us, it's trying to find the distinction of, if you say you're full and there's tons of food left, and then like a minute later you want like a packet of crisps and a chocolate bar, there's a difference.
Yeah, I think it's that way as well, of you want to try eating healthy food where possible. Like for example, I said before, Ashton likes a curry, but I'll always try and put some veg through it. So like obviously that kind of appeases me, because there's obviously lots of different veg in there. So it's
Carrot, you stop doing this, man.
While he likes the curry, it just means that there's lots of veg in there. So it's It's good. But yeah, that was just the kind of main issue that we were dealing with in the house at the moment.
I like the idea of the timer. That
Yes.
might be something that I take back with us as well. Because I will come home and Jane's like, he's had like 6 plates of snacks today. I'm like, that's mental, because now he's not going to eat his dinner properly.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm looking to try and do, a part of it is just trying to see if you can remember, is I'm trying to just log what he's eating to try and see kind of like how big of a problem it is what he eats, like the volume he eats. Like, I've been looking at things. I think I've said before that a big favourite of Ashton is the Dairy Dunkers, and they're quite low calorie, and then he doesn't eat the cheese, so kind of it's even less calories. So in my head I'm like, okay, you can have more of these, and then looking at the crisps he eats is like Skips, Quavers, still the kind of lighter
Still
ones.
very low calorie.
Exactly, but then if you have 8 bags of them, then it's
It catches up to you.
yeah, exactly.
Probably
So-
equal to 1 bag of McCoys.
yeah, exactly. So
That's
it's one that we're working on. But yeah, it was good to talk it through in case you had any sort of silver bullets.
I think we don't really use timers in our house, mainly because my daughter,
You said it stresses her out.
she really struggles with her anxiety. So like timers, if she sees that there's like a finite level of time, it just puts her into complete panic. So because we initially looked at timers for like snacks and stuff like that, but it just wasn't something that really works with our kids. So we've been doing this kind of basket thing for us, and so far it's been okay. But I think if there's we have like you guys have said, we've like scheduled activities and stuff like that in the meantime. So the kids have been busy. They haven't had maybe like 2 or 3 days where they've just not done anything.
The basket idea is good, obviously, as long as they understand the barrier for entrance. Obviously, that once that basket is finished, that's you done.
Yeah.
But for a lot of our kids, that's going to be
Empty it and then want more straight away.
it's a challenge more than anything. Like, I'll finish this and see what happens then afterwards. Like, there is a push on the authority for it there.
Yeah, and that's where because we've thought about this as well, and it is more a lot of work that because we were like I don't think we could put a basket downstairs to say like, here's your food for the day, because he wouldn't understand. He'd be like, no, here's my food for the moment. I would need to essentially have, here's your food to last the morning, replenish it for the afternoon, and then dinner, and split it that way. But again, these things are all well and good when you're on the mind frame where you're resting and everything, like, right, okay, let's set everything. You'd also then need to, we had the crisps in a completely different cupboard, and then he just found them eventually, so he just knows that's now the crisp cupboard. I think it's something that you need to put a lot of work into to kind of structure it, which isn't
I
always
think
easiest.
we've been really focusing on using the baskets for all of the, I would say, quote, like unhealthy or snacks.
Yeah.
So like we'll put in maybe 5 or 6 like crisps, a biscuit, like gummies, chocolate, all of that sort of stuff. But then if they do use up the stuff that's in the basket, we then go, well, you do have healthy alternatives in the fridge. We can make you a bowl of fruit. We can give you a yogurt. We can give you a pot of jelly. You can have an ice lolly. And I think for us, it's been trying to balance out, because a lot of the time, what we find over the summer is the kids will just deep dive into the chocolate and the crisps and the gummies, and forget that in the fridge there's yogurts, there's fruit, there's ice lollies. And so we're trying to find that balance of going, listen, there's nothing wrong with you wanting these unhealthier kind of options, but there's only a limit. So there's a limit to that, whereas if you want the healthier foods, there is no limit. You can have that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'll need to figure something out at some point. But that was good. Thank you very
Trial
much.
and error, isn't it?
It is mainly error, but we try our best.
That we do.
We do. But I think this has been another summer episode, just giving you an update about what's going on. Hopefully it's not been too boring for the listeners. But we'll get back to our topic-based things soon. We do have a couple of Q&A episodes that will be released over the next few weeks, and we've got one about mental health as well, which is good to tune in on. Whether you're going to listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you're going to listen to us on Paisley Radio, which we are on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. I believe.
It gets released on Spotify every Saturday?
Every Saturday around about 5 o'clock, depending on if I remember to publish. So at the weekend it gets published. But yeah, any topics you want us to chat through, let us know. Hoping to get the show onto YouTube as well. And yeah, we are looking to add some more guests on, so if anyone wants to join, let us know.
And please send us some feedback, send us some comments. Like, we want to hear from more people about what we've got. Obviously, we had some questions that we had from the community, which we've done on already episode 4. But we want to hear from you a bit more. We want to find out what you've enjoyed so far in the small amount of time we've been doing this, so we can refine this and find out what works for us. Obviously, we've had bits that we've enjoyed. Obviously, these general talks, they can be a bit of a laugh, so you don't get to hear everything that goes on. But no, obviously we enjoy a topic, but we enjoy just having a conversation between a couple of dads as well. So yeah, drop us a message, drop us a comment, just tell us what you've enjoyed, what hasn't worked for you.
Yep, any sort of, it can be something as small as a topic that you want discussed, or, even, if you want to tell us a structure of how you want the podcast to be, we'll certainly listen to any sort of ideas.
Definitely open to all ideas. Let us know. And on that note, goodbye.
See you later.
See you later.